Hi everybody, it's Andrew Hutchings. Not a doctor, still not giving medical advice, just consolidating information, putting it in one place along with my opinion, if it ever seems like I am. This video is about what is a steroid injection. That may sound like a dumb question, but why do you inject steroids? How does that work? What's up with it? So steroids, testosterone derivatives, molecules like testosterone. Testosterone is the natural anabolic steroid of the human body, you could say, the main one. Normally, they are made in the body, they work for a little bit, and they're broken down and excreted. That would mean that if you were to try to take this steroid that's not produced in your body, they would only be active for a very short amount of time. And on top of that, when you consume orally steroids like testosterone, they are broken down by the liver extensively. So you get very little of the actual steroid into your bloodstream, circulating, working its magic. So what has been done is they have been they've been esterified. Basically, this thing called an ester has been chemically linked onto the molecule, and that prevents the liver from breaking it down. So the steroid can now be into the body and not be broken down so immediately by the liver. But it also does something else. You know that oil, so you inject steroids wherever you're going to inject them. The best way to think of it is as an implant, because it's quite literally an oil implant into your body. People don't think of it like this because it's not like a piece of metal or a piece of plastic, but it is an implant which slowly releases steroids into your body. That ester, which helps it to work without being degraded right away, that allows it to stick in the oil rather than immediately go throughout your body. And it worked for a little while, but then be excreted. So it likes to be in that oil, but it doesn't always like to be in that oil. It's kind of like, you may like sitting around all day, but once in a while you get up and you go to the refrigerator. The refrigerator is your body, and the couch is the oil. So the steroid, it's in the oil, but once in a while it gets up and visits the refrigerator. And every time it does that, it's in your body working its magic, and then it gets metabolized and excreted out of you. So now there's a little bit less total in that oil, wherever it is. And then some more of it gets up for the refrigerator. Goes throughout the body, does its magic, gets metabolized, and leaves. And that's what keeps happening until there is no more steroid or no more oil. So yes, the reason behind that is if your body absorbs the oil, now all of the steroid is in your body, and it's going to be active rather quickly, work its magic a lot, but get out of you fast. But let's assume that oil sticks around plenty long. That means that it all depends on how long it takes for all the steroids to get up off the couch and visit the refrigerator and work their magic. And so you start with 1,000 of them or 1,000,000 of them. It takes a while. I mean, they're not like you. They don't slowly they're bolting to the refrigerator. I mean, still, mostly they're sitting on the couch, but yeah, it's not the perfect analogy, but I hope you understand the point. So this is the oil. Over here is the oil. You've got the steroids. They're actually bouncing around, moving around in the oil. But then once in a while they go, mostly they're in the oil. And they go, oh. But when they go over here, they work their magic, and then they're metabolized and excreted out. So they're mostly over here, then they go, but you still got all these little guys over here. And then another one comes, works its magic, metabolized, excreted out. And it does that until they're all gone. And that's why people use steroids in oils, because it's a time release mechanism. Instead of having to take a pill or inject every few hours, or even literally just constantly, it allows you to do a single injection every few days or every few weeks. Now, it may not be optimal to do it every few weeks, but it doesn't mean that it can't be done. Like, if you had to, it gets the job done. Like, if you had two choices, like, you're either gonna have zero testosterone in your body, or you gotta do one gigantic shot to last you the next 3 months. Even though I would rather not have such a big shot, I'd rather do little shots so that it's more steady levels in the body. If I had to, I'd pick a super long ester and do a massive shot. Now, probably I would actually just opt to not have the testosterone and feel like garbage because I have some gynecomastia and I wouldn't want to take testosterone, let alone a massive, gigantic amount to last me 3 months. But you get the point. It's designed so that it can last longer in the body, because people don't want to be taking something every 2 hours, every 3 hours, every 10 minutes perhaps. I mean, you can chemically modify the molecules so that you can take them orally, and they last for a few hours, several hours in the body, but it puts a lot of strain on the liver. So that ester, it's really easy to take off. But these other modifications that you'd have to do to make it orally active, they're hard to take off. That's the point. It goes around in your body without having that thing taken off quite as quickly to allow it to get out of your body. But your liver doesn't just give up. It cranks up the enzyme levels so that it can get that off. And that's not good, because those enzymes, they mess with things. They cause, so you got a lot of things going through your body at all times. And your body's pretty good at handling them, but if you change them a little bit, they can become more harmful. And that's what can happen when the liver increases its enzyme levels. It changes the molecules you have in your body, and they can now do harm to your body. For whatever reason, they tend to become more carcinogenic, more bad in general. Perhaps eventually I'll learn exactly why that is. I'm sure it's not too complicated, I just don't happen to know. I'm hearing buzzing somewhere. But yes, for whatever reason, when the liver enzymes are high and they change a lot of the chemicals in the body, they become more harmful in general. And you don't want that. And you don't want the liver working hard. And the enzymes tend to damage the actual liver itself. So then you get liver damage. I mean, not necessarily, but likely. You get liver damage, and then now the liver can't do things as well. And not a good situation. So instead of making it tougher to degrade the steroid so you can take it orally, you put it in the oil so that it doesn't last too long in the body when it's in the body. But when you inject the oil, it's not in the body mostly. It's mostly in the oil. Remember, it's mostly in the oil. That oil is not part of your body. It's in your body, but it's separate. It's kind of like if you hold water in your mouth. It's in your mouth, but it's not in your body. Once you swallow it, it gets absorbed through the stomach. It goes into your entire body. But it's not in you yet. So that oil, when you put it into you, it's physically inside of you, but it stays there. It doesn't disperse right away. It does slowly over time, but for the most part, it's like if you were to take a fish oil capsule cut your skin and shove it under there and then sew yourself back up. But instead of doing that, you take a needle and you inject it into there, because why would you cut yourself open, shove oil in there, and sew it back up if you can take a needle, make a little hole, and put it in there? Kind of like they make the jelly-filled donuts. They don't cut them open, shove jelly in there, and sew them up or whatever. They take a big syringe, push it in, they inject the jelly in, they take it out. The jelly is inside of the donut, yes, but it's not in the whole donut.